Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to put together the birthday explosion box. And we're going to begin with our lid. You want to fold these pieces in, and we're going to glue at the tab here to create the structure of the lid. So we're simply going to repeat this step until we've got the entire lid put together. Okay, so we have the lid created, and now we're going to go ahead and take this piece here and get these pieces folded over. Okay, now we actually, in our final version, we did this in a white glitter and we inked it with a nice blue color. And what you're going to want to do is sort of find the center point, and you'll know that you've got it when all of these bent areas have a good hold. So what you want to do then is just kind of leave it in place, and what I would do is glue down just one of the ends here just to kind of set the tone for the rest of it. So get that glued into place. And then what I would do is I would actually go to the opposite end. And then before you do that, you do want to put glue on the rest of this thing. You don't have to put them on these pieces here. We can do that last. Okay. So as you're doing this, kind of push it outward to kind of stretch this out just a tiny little bit. Okay. So make sure that that's got a good hold, and then you can kind of fold it over and sort of bend this with the lip of the lid as well. You might need to, depending on what type of paper you're using, depending on how thick or thin it is, you may need to stretch these little end caps a little bit to get them to fit precisely, and then just go around and glue these in place. So this is actually very simple. And once we have these in place, I'll show you how the bow goes together. And that is really simple, but really cute. Okay, and let's get this glued into place. Okay, so there's our top. And I accidentally shoved mine in a little wad of glue that I had over there. Okay, so that is that. And now we're gonna grab these pieces here that have little triangular tabs on both ends, and you want your texture side upside down. So this is the smooth side if you're using AC cardstock. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna put glue in the tabbed area, and then you're gonna take and use that tab and the line on the tab to get that aligned with the corners of this shape here. So just make sure that these score lines are aligned where these lines are. Okay, so hold that in place while it dries, and then you can move on to the next one. Okay, so we're just going to place glue on the texture side and put that in place. Okay, and basically going to end up creating a hexagon with these pieces here, and then we're going to curl them in to create the actual bow. So I'll show you how that works here in just a second. So just keep on gluing all the way around. Now that we've sort of found that center point, you could either just make sure that you've got them flush side by side. You can still use the score line as an alignment tool, or guide, I should say. Okay, so just pop that in there. It's really cool, really cute. And this shimmery paper, the glitter paper, makes this like really cool, and kind of inked it with a nice blue color just to make it pop even more. So again, just putting that in place. So that looks great. Okay, give that a second to dry. I'm gonna start with the first one here, and all we're really doing is taking this, and we're gonna put glue here and just curve it in and glue it right on top of itself. Okay, And there's going to be a little bit of resistance there. So just hold on to that until it gets glued. You could probably start on another one here. Just get a nice little bit of glue there. Bring it in, align it. Okay, you can kind of hold those down with your hand while you're bringing the next one in place. I might be doing this a little bit too quick, but that's okay. And just make sure that you get glue out to the edge of that score line as best as you can, just so that it has a nice hold all the way up to that score line. Okay, so I'm actually holding all these down with one hand while I glue the other one, so I'm really multitasking here. Okay, so that's that, and then you can go ahead and bend the bow at the score line. Probably should have done that ahead of time, but either way, it's still gonna come out cute. Okay, so we've got that. Then we have this piece here, okay, this little hexagon, okay, and that's gonna get glued right into the center to kind of clean that up. And then we have two pieces like this that have score lines at the end, okay? And what we're doing with these, and I would suggest taking these and running them along the edge of your desk just to kind of start training them. And especially right along the edge, you kind of want it to curve like that. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put glue within the tabbed area or within the score line area and just create a little ring, okay? So we're creating a ring out of that. Then we're gonna do the same thing with this other one. I'm just running it along the edge of my desk, and I'm going to put glue in this little score area. And just line that up, hold it till it dries. Okay, and then the idea is to take the smaller one and put it in like this. Okay, I didn't actually even glue mine because the tension sort of keeps it in place. So it's not even necessary to glue it. You can if you want, but I think it maintains a nicer roundness if you don't. It's up to you. And then you're gonna put glue on the bottom of this and just stick it right in the center here and let that dry, okay? So there's your lid with the super cute bow all done. And again, we did ours in a white glitter and inked it a little bit, and it's super cute. So I'm gonna transition here and show you how to put together the party hat, okay? Because that's actually a very simple piece to put together, and then we'll show you the base, which is also very simple. So the party hat, and this is the base of the party hat. Go ahead and just make sure that you get everything folded at the score lines, okay? And again, that's just gonna help ensure that everything fits nice and tight. Okay, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna connect these two pieces together by placing glue on this tab here. And you want to glue that to the inside. Let me do it this way, it's just a lot easier. Glue that to the inside of the other piece. Okay, you're gonna put that down on your table and push down. Make sure that gets a real nice hold. And then we're gonna connect that piece to the other piece. And again, that's why you always wanna score or bend at the score lines, because then it just works that much easier. And we'll put glue on this tab here and get this glued into place. Okay. And you can also put that down on your table. All right, so we've got the basic shape there. We're gonna close these tabs down. We're gonna grab this pentagon. Yeah, this pentagon, and going to glue this down to the bottom, and that's gonna create the bottom of our box. Okay, so just make sure that's nice and aligned. Might have to jimmy it around a little bit. And then you can just push from the inside And there's the basic structure for that. Okay, then we can go ahead and grab the actual hat portion. And again, you want to go ahead and score or fold at the score lines. Okay, do that for both. This goes together real quick, actually, thanks to the brilliant engineering of my artist Diana, and thanks to Ron for the design. Diana made this awesome. And I'll tell you why it's even more awesome here in just a second. So I'm gluing these two pieces together to form one long piece. And then I'm going to glue this piece to itself to close it up to form our party hats. Okay, so getting that initial contact here, give that a second or two to take, and then you can go ahead and place it on your table to apply that extra pressure. There we go. And then we've got our little trim pieces here. Okay, and on our version, we did actually ink this as well. Now, what you're going to want to do is you want to bend these at the score lines. There's two pieces here. You put on this set of 3, and then follow that up with the set of 2. And the placement on this, what you're going to want to do is take this and move it down to, it's almost at the bottom, but it's not. I would put my finger along this edge here and just make sure that that's nice and lined up, and then you can kind of feel where this edge is. That's where this gets glued down, okay? So you're gonna follow that all the way around, okay? And then you're gonna do the same thing with this piece here. Just make sure that those are nice and aligned, okay? And then, once you have that in place, okay, obviously that fits on there, you'll have your little ruffle on there, and then this piece here, this green piece, is going to get glued over the center of the little ruffle, okay? And then what we did in our version is we actually just took them and just kind of ruffled them out. I actually took a little pencil, or in this case I'm using a silhouette pick-me-up tool, just kind of ruffled them out randomly, and that's really it. And then I took these pom-poms are from Doris. They have tinsel in them. They look really cool. So that is your hat. Okay, so we've got the hat, we've got the lid. Let's take a look at the main structure of this box. And you'll also be surprised at how easily this goes together. Now, for the sake of keeping this fairly quick, since a lot of this is redundant, I'm not going to show you every single little bit of this, but we're going to start with this piece here. And this piece, actually, we're going to put glue on the tab. I've got my texture side in. I think we want the texture side in on all these because you're going to see the inside more than you're going to see the outside. So you're going to glue that to the underside of this pentagon that has all these score lines on it, okay? And then fold this over just to make sure that it folds nicely, and that'll actually help with the placement as well, okay? So we've got that. And on this pentagon, you're going to have this piece here. Now, if you look at the bottom of this little piece that we just glued on, there's a small little circle. That is for placement for this piece. Okay, so that's to make sure that you get it aligned perfectly each time. So you're going to glue that in place. You're going to repeat that process 4 more times all the way around. I'm just showing you one. You're going to do that 4 more times. Okay, so I'm just going to remove this for now. Oh, by the way, I did forget to mention that on the hat, we do have a series of little polka dots that you can ink and add however you want to your hat. I just realized that I forgot to tell you about that. Okay, so we've got the first panel on, okay, and okay, so we've got our first little panel on, and the next thing we're going to do is, and actually, when you have the first panel on, you can flip it over. There is another pentagon that you're going to want to glue down to close up the bottom and cover it up so it looks nice. And that also reinforces the bottom a little bit and just makes it more sturdy. Okay, so you want to glue that down and we can flip it back over and continue with the next layer. And the next layer is this piece here, okay? And you can go ahead and glue your balloon on. And again, we've included some score lines at the bottom and top of this to help you with the placement of the balloon. So you can go ahead and get all your balloons glued on. And then you're gonna take glue it on this tab, or add glue to that tab. And you want to align this with these side score lines here, okay? You don't want it to go all the way to the front. You just want to use those side score lines as a guide, okay? So that's how that works. And you're going to just make sure that you're getting it nice and aligned, and also take a look at the piece behind it just to make sure that you've got it nice and level, and so that the border on both sides is also accurate. Okay, so that's the piece with the balloon, obviously. And really all that's left is the middlemost piece, and that's the little party hat. Okay, so you're gonna glue this into place. And then finally, these score marks on here that go all the way to the front, that's how you know where to position that. Okay, so we're just gonna glue that and make sure that the front of this is flush with that score line. Okay, so again, with this, you're repeating this each time as you go around with the white, with the pink, and with the green until you have all your panels in. Okay, I'm only showing you one. I would repeat this process 4 more times with each color. And then once you have all the layers in place, you're gonna take this green piece and you're gonna glue that down to cover everything else up. And that's gonna close it up. So you'll have your box at that point. Let me show you here. That's what the box looks like, as you can see. Okay, and that's pretty much it. And then you can glue the party hat to the center if you want, or you can leave it free. When you actually close the box, it'll keep it in place. And actually, one last thing here, before you glue the party hat in, or if you don't, you can go ahead and flip this over. Okay, let me grab this one here. And what you want to do is you want to take these panels and center them, okay? And what I did to help me center that is let me move this out of the way. I took my lid and I put the actual explosion box up to it like this, and I centered it. And then I took my strip to help me align or find that center point. And you want to glue these down to all 5 sides of the box. And that's really it. On our final one here, I'll just go over a few things. You know, we kind of had a little fun with the pearls and the rhinestones just to add some embellishments. All the edges of all these panels were inked, including the actual flaps. And then that's really it. You just, to close it up, you just put your hat inside and fold these in. You can kind of hold them with one hand while you get these in, and then you take your lid and just make sure you get everything in there. You can kind of wiggle it around a little bit so that those sides come out, and there you go. And when your recipient opens it, bam, explosion. Happy birthday. Stay on top of all things Dreaming Tree and engage with us today. Get the latest news and enter in our giveaways on Facebook. Get inspired by following us on Pinterest. Be the first to see our new product launches on Instagram. Do you prefer Twitter? Yep, we're there too. Watch our beautiful product trailers and assembly tutorials on YouTube. For more information, visit www.3dsvg.com. Live, craft, love, and dream.